Hello everybody and welcome back to another Deep Oger review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new SHMonsterArts Gigan from Final Wars, the Great Decisive Battle version. Long title, I know. This guy, if you saw my top 10 of 2021, you knew that this guy was number one, top bill. He's the best, he's my favorite. He's actually... I'd say he's one of my favorites in my collection, only being beat out by Earthrise Optimus, and that's pretty much it, only Earthrise Optimus. But this guy is absolutely fantastic, and although I do have some gripes, which we will get into later, first I want to take a look at his accessories. Just lean up against there, sorry man. First up for his accessories, we have 4 of these grappling hooks that he used to grapple and wrap around Godzilla in the movie in Antarctica. And they're made out of this pliable kind of metal wiring with a plastic coat around it. So it's easy to maneuver and incredibly easy to pack up if you just want to not use them on display, because they are very, very long. They're about a foot long, and it's not even completely straight. So yeah, it's very long. But the way you want to do this is bringing in Gigan. It's easier to do it if you just take the claw off. So right now we're just gonna set Gigan off to the side. But you want to look, and this is the right one, so then you got to take out the right claw right here. It's harder than it seems, and then you just plug this one right in there, and there you have his grapple hook things all right on his chain, and it can wrap around Godzilla or any other kaiju really you want him to be fighting, I guess. So yeah, it's actually very, very nice and pliable, and it has these plastic pieces just like in the movie if you want to have more, I guess, segments in them. And I want to say these did a very good job at sculpting them to each other. Very, very close to what it is. Just on this one, it's a little lighter on the silver. On this one, it kind of looks a little more darker with a little more brown, I'd guess. But you can't really see it on camera. It doesn't come out that well. But that's basically how you do his claws, and then you just pop it back on, and that is pretty much the wires all complete. And as you can see, this is where my major gripe comes in, but we'll fix that and go on to the next accessory. So for this next accessory I'll go over right now is his cluster beam eye laser thing. I can't remember the official name, it's something ridiculous. But as you can see, it is on a very tall stand. I don't know why this stand is so tall. I would have preferred it to be shorter, because as it stands with any of the Godzilla figures I have, he's always either blasting them in the face or right over their head. So it's not really that helpful unless you have him up in the air or on a flight stand. And if you do, then he can blast more down. But as is, he blasts kind of upward, and it's not very helpful for photography or stop motion or any of that for that matter. But the actual detail on this beam is very nice. You have kind of this metallic, almost overwash or overspray on it. If I could get Gigan out of the background, you have this almost metallic overwash on it right there, and then this is a separate piece. This is clearly where you plug the little ball joint into. Right there, it's a little tight first time around, but you get the hang of it, and obviously with that, it moves up, it moves down, and because it's on a ball joint, it does whatever the hell you want it to, and pop off. I will say that the stand does come in 2 separate pieces. This is the base, this is the actual stand. I almost threw the base away because I forgot where it was, so be careful about that, I guess. But honestly, it kind of looks like a Cyclops beam, so if you wanted to use this with a Cyclops action figure, I guess you could. I don't really know. It's your toys. Do what you want to do with them. I will say before I move on to the actual figure itself, these I'm incredibly scared of because they are thin plastic and they are a little bit pliable, but yet again, it's hard, thin plastic, so be extremely cautious when playing or messing around with this because I don't trust these in the future unless you keep it in the packaging or if you're moving and you put it back in the packaging. So yeah, that's kind of scary. And those 2 accessories that I just went over, or technically 5, that I just went over, are the main reasons you're buying this, and also if you missed out on the one from 2014, but these are the new accessories, and we'll get into the past ones after I do the details and articulation segment, because they do play a pretty big impact on this guy's look and articulation. So, yeah, I'll get into the actual figure now. For this guy's very up-close and personal detail, you get a fantastic creature cyborg sculpt right here. You have that classic Gigan mandibles, or those classic Gigan mandibles right here, and the big, large Final Wars horn. A lot bigger than the Showa era one, which we'll get into with the other accessories. And even I expected this from the SHMonsterArts because it's the highest end besides X Plus or maybe some other company that does Godzilla figures. But you even get those honeycomb shapes in the eyes. You can barely see them, but they shine so nice and so bright. It's actually really impressive, this eye sculpt, this whole head sculpt, honestly. One gripe is the teeth. I know it's movie accurate, but they're huge. They're so big, he can't close his mouth all the way. That's the best you're gonna get, but he can open his mouth pretty nice too. So there is a noticeable difference. It just sucks so bad that his teeth are so big they hinder articulation. If they just got rid of the teeth and maybe made the beak a little bit wider, I probably would have complained about him having a wide beak. But still, it would be better than not being able to close his mouth all the way. Although, looking at it from the side, it's bothering me less and less the way I look at it. I guess the way it looks isn't horrid. It's just, it can't close his mouth all the way. But you have that nice metallic red dot right there and the wrinkles all around right here. Nice, very nice navy blue all throughout this body. I hear that the old one is more, or this one is more pearlescent than the old one. Clearly I don't have the old one because it's like $400 now, but still, I don't know from personal experience. But you do have those beautiful, beautiful spikes and those silver indents for the bolts right there on his titties. The little slots where his fucking, what do they call, what were they? They were the saw blades that literally came out of his boobs. Right there. So that's a very nice attention to detail. Of course, I don't know what it is with these, but on one side, the shoulder pads are pretty level with each other, but on this side, the spike is pointing straight forward. On this side, it's pointing almost straight up. So it's definitely distracting that way. I really wish they just went with one direction. I don't really see anybody else having this issue, so yeah, it's slight quality control. Which, honestly, if you're buying an SHMonsterArts, you're going to know that it will probably have some quality control issues. But you have that nice cybernetic detail all throughout. in his shoulder too. Very, very nice, accurate ridges right here, elbow spike, huge claws. I was kind of offset by how big his claws are, but they do look absolutely amazing, and they really fit this guy. Yeah, classic Final Wars look, I will say. Have some nice dry brushing, lightly darked areas underneath and on top, and of course near the base of the actual blade. Then his chest chainsaw can kind of untab from his waist, I guess, his crotchal area, just to give you a little bit more range with the waist rotation, but it's not that hard to put it back in. Then more of that silver bolt detail right down here, more of that beautiful, beautiful wiring, ridges like the arms inside the thigh, more wiring, spikes galore, knee pads. Kind of looks like a juicer, or like when you put the orange on the juicing thing, it does that, or it is that. Then his feet are die-cast. Only his toes, though, which is kind of weird. Which is probably why it always wants to pop off on me. But you have this back shin spike and this heel spike right there. Beautiful, beautiful detail all throughout. And for his tail, no, there that goes. For his tail, this is the part that scares me the most about this figure, is these are individually segmented. Very impressive. Amazing for articulation. Incredibly terrifying when you're actually handling this guy, because these are very thin plastic pieces. I mean, they're thick enough, I think, I hope. But you just really need to watch these when you're articulating the tail and make sure that none of them are running into each other in a majorly bad way, because I am terrified that one day one of these is just going to say fuck you and break on me while I'm just fucking around with it. So that would definitely suck. But other than that, the tail is absolutely amazing. And then you have this kind of blender thing on the end right there, spiky, stabby thing. But yeah, I would definitely be really careful about these segments. Just terrifies me. Again, with that nice kind of brushing, just like on the claws, you have on the tail kind of plates, I guess, and the end of the tail. So beautiful, beautiful work here by Tamashii. But honestly, other than that, that's pretty much it for detail, except for his back fins, which they pretty much speak for themselves. Nice kind of leathery texture right here, and dark navy blue, kind of like the body for the rest, like the actual like bone material there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for his detail. But on to gripes. Now, I did mention this pretty briefly in my top 10 of 2021 video, but biggest gripe with this guy, absolutely annoys the fuck out of me, is on mine, the shoulder pad just likes to pop off. It happened when I was recording, it happened just while I was recording the detail segment, so that really, really sucks. And as you can see, this one does not pop off easily. You have to work it off. You have to actually take it off. Also, I feel like the head doesn't... Oops. That's not for right now. But I feel like the head doesn't fit with this neck piece really well, because it just loves to move around and get off-centered, and it is quite annoying to mess with. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it, besides the toe, which it is very touchy when it actually wants to fall off. It's not falling off on camera right now, so that's good, because when I filmed this review first, the opening is when it fell off, so I had to redo this whole review because my fucking Gigan kept falling apart. But it really sucks. This shoulder pad is easily the worst part of this figure for me. I'm not sure about other people, if you have this figure and you have the same complaint, please comment about it. I'd love to hear that I'm not the only one with this issue. Other than that, I have no problems with this guy whatsoever. No paint problems so far, no breakage, nothing of the sort. But other than that, I really don't have anything else to say about gripes, because this guy, beautiful, absolutely amazing. Let's just get into his amazing articulation as well. So, fuck it. For this guy's articulation, you have quite a few neck joints, so if this falls off, I'm not putting it back on, by the way. The base of the neck can move up about that far, but using the rest of the joints, he can look up about that far, which is absolutely amazing if you want to use some flight stands and put him mid-air with some photography or whatever you want to do. That noise was the die-cast toes hitting my glass table. That's pretty much it for the head, but it does tilt really well too. I mean, this expressiveness is something I've never seen in a Godzilla figure, besides when I used to have the old SHMonsterArts King Ghidorah. It absolutely amazing feeling and looking articulation. Obviously, as previously discussed in length, these are on ball joints. Jaw is on a hinge, I believe. I don't think it's a ball joint, at least. Nope, it's a ball joint. This guy is pure ball joints, but it does, as previously mentioned, open up about that far and close. Okay, I guess. Like I said, I would have preferred it to not have either the back teeth or just not have teeth at all, but whatever. Arm can go up about that far without the shoulder pad, but it can go up only about that far with the shoulder pad. There is bicep swivel along with that dumbbell joint right here, so you can get back pretty nice. And there's a shift up and down. Bicep double bend right there, right there, about 90 degrees, I guess. Ball joint up at the claw, full 360, up, down, blah, 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 blah. That rhymed. And then, as mentioned in the detail segment, this does unclip. You can get a little bit of side to side action on this guy, and with it also unclipped, you can get crunch, although on mine I haven't seemed to be able to get him to crunch at all. Very slightly, at least. But that's pretty much it for his torso, sadly. Leg can go up about that far, back about that far, out about that far. Yeah, obviously it's a separate piece, so if you force it, it will pop off itself. But there is a shift down and a thigh swivel. Knee can go bend, not that far, which I get because of this design right here with the spike, but really wish it could get a little bit farther, but it's a giant monster. It's not going to be like it's fucking Naruto running. Then you have a weird choice. I don't know why they did this, maybe to give it a little more foot articulation, but there is a ball joint at the boot. You would call it like a boot swivel, but it's a ball joint. And then you actually have the foot ball joint, which is really fucking weird. Also, you have ball joints at the feet. So if you want the foot to go down, go up, and obviously combined with that, you have very nice ankle pivot. And for the tail and these are just on a hinge, the outside ones, but this one can go up and down. No hinge to speak of, but the out ones can go out like that and in about that far. But you have a shit ton of articulation in this tail. You have this panel right here, 1 ball joint, 2 ball joints, 3 ball joints, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different joints in this tail alone, and that allows for some absolutely amazingly wicked tail poses on this guy. If you've seen my toy photography on Instagram and my Godzilla page Instagram, you know that I love to mess with this guy's tail orientation, and it's so fun to mess with, guys. But as I said, you have to be careful with it, really careful with it, because of the spikes. Other than that, this tail is absolutely just flooring me, because I'm used to Bandai vinyls, and this guy is far, far from a Bandai vinyl, especially when it comes to articulation and transformation. That's right, this guy transforms not into a vehicle, but into Super Gigan, or Upgrade to Gigan. First, what you want to do with that, smooth transition, you want to take off the head, but before you do that, you want to take off top and these two mandibles on the side. This one is a little bit tighter than the other one. This one pulls off pretty easy, this one does not. But you want to set those off to the side. And then you just take off this head. It's easier said than done. And also just take this piece off, which is pretty easy. Then what you want to do is you want to dislocate this whole neck assembly, which is a lot easier said than done. There you go. So that is all taken care of. Let me put this back on just right now. I said put this back on just for right now. I said put this back on just for right. No, fuck it, whatever. I'll deal with it later. And for the claws, you just want to pop them off. And pop these two double-sided chainsaw hands on. It doesn't matter which arm they go on. This one doesn't seem to want to pop for me, so just beware of that. If it doesn't pop, it's still probably on. But also, clearly, because you're missing the neck piece, you have this upgraded neck brace for Gigan. And see this little notch right here? You just want to get it into that groove right there. Notch, groove, put that in, and then another thing that doesn't want to pop for me is this neck brace piece, but you know it's in when it's in, because it's not coming out very easily. And that adds quite a bit of height to him, honestly. So that, yeah, there's that. Then for the head, what you want to do is you want to take these spiky mandibles. Don't think it matters which side they're on. I'm going to take those, just plug them in as so, and I know sometimes one is better on the other side than the other, but I'm not completely sure on that one. But also, you want to have this ridiculously large head spike on him. I mean, it's not that much bigger, but it's a lot taller than the other one. So that adds a bit of height too. But you just plug that onto the Gigan head, and finally you plug it into the neck, and there you have your upgraded Final Wars Gigan. And obviously, what's Gigan? Especially upgraded version without his famous shoulder pad. That sucks rocks, because it won't fucking stay on for more than 2 seconds. Okay, I think that's the best we're gonna get with this guy, sorry. But this guy just rocks, man. Hold on, I'm gonna try to do this off camera. So, after tussling with it for actually quite a while, which is quite annoying, here he is in his final upgraded form that lasts about 2 seconds. This is my favorite thing about this figure, is this specific form. I love the chainsaw hands. Perfect combo is just the regular neck and head pieces with the chainsaw hands, but this fully upgraded thing does look amazing. I can't even get it all in frame just because the fucking head spike is so ridiculously tall. I don't know why they made it that big. It is definitely not that large in the movie. I don't know why they couldn't have just let it curve a little bit more, but it does have that serrated edge. Same with the mandibles right here. And one of my favorite features is his chainsaw hands, which obviously do have that nice dry brushing, just like the regular hands, if my camera would focus. But my favorite thing is these are rubber. They move. They are on a sliding track, and they move, all of them. All of the hands, or all of the little sliding track guys on the chainsaw, they move. They groove, and they move, and they groove. And it's absolutely amazing. I love it. I love every second of this upgrade, because I'm so glad it came with this. I've been wanting a Final Wars upgraded Gigan for so long, and this figure delivers so well. Absolutely amazing. I love the chainsaw hands. You guys have no idea how much I love the chainsaw hands. I have ever since I saw this movie when I was 3. It just blew me away that this guy had chainsaw hands. I keep mentioning the chainsaw hands. But obviously it's still compatible. I don't know why it wouldn't be. One thing that isn't compatible, besides, or the laser beam is still compatible, but the one thing that isn't are the wires, because there's nowhere to tab them into, so that doesn't suck at all, because I honestly don't really like the wires. They get in the way. They're way too long. But this is easily my favorite part of this figure, besides the articulation. It's just beautiful to look at. It's absolutely stunning to look at. And in this form, I think I'll do my size comparisons finally. I just realized that all of this, that I was just power speaking and everything, it's been in focus, so that sucks. Sorry. So to recap that, the I-beam still fits. That's what I was trying to say, is the I-beam still fits, but the wires do not. So that really rocks. This guy just absolutely blows me away. I love this guy so much. So for comparison, here he is next to the Transformers Earthrise Optimus Prime and the Transformers Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. Here he is next to the Bandai Vinyl 1998 Godzilla, not the actual 1998 Zilla Godzilla, but the one that was released in 1998. There. And the original 2006 Bandai Movie Monster Series Gigan from Final Wars. This guy beats the vinyl in every conceivable way. I've had this guy for a long time. He's falling apart pretty much at the seams, so it's sad to let him go, but it's good that I'm retiring him after very, very long years of servitude to the collection. Here he is next to some other giant monster mechs. Here we have him next to the MMS Jet Jaguar and the MMS Heavy Arms Kiryu. Here he is next to some other Final Wars lads. We have the Final Wars Anguirus and the Final Wars Rodan next, and of course the movie Monster series, or the movie, not the movie Monster series, the Godzilla Island TV show King Caesar. And last but not least, here he is next to the only other two SHMonsterArts I have in my collection, the SHMonsterArts Godzilla 2019, which in reality should look more like this. Yep, SHMonsterArts quality control with their ball joints. It's not even only Gigan, guys. It's really not. It's a pretty much line-wide issue, and a lot of people have. Gamera has his tail. His tail really likes to, of course it won't do it on camera, but his tail really likes to pop off. But here he is next to the Revenge of Iris Gamera from the Heisei Gamera trilogy, and the Godzilla 2019 from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Duh. And easily this guy is one of my favorite figures in my collection. Top 5. Top 3. Top 2, easily. This guy rocks so much ass. He kicks it. He fucking... he fucking, like, eats metal fucking rods for breakfast. I'm telling you, man. This guy is so amazing. If you're a Godzilla fan, or even if you have a passing interest and you have the money, and if you want to make a Godzilla stop motion, and you don't have any Godzilla villains, get this guy. You need to have a Gigan if you're going to collect Godzilla. Absolutely amazing looking. Like, seriously, just blew me away. I wasn't expecting to collect this guy as much as I did. I watched a lot of reviews, and people had a lot of complaints, and I was like, okay, yeah, this guy is gonna be kind of a toss-up, but this, it's not even close. He is easily my favorite figure besides Earthrise Optimus. I mean, from the articulation, to the detail, to the paint, to the sculpt, to the accessories, the ass tons of accessories that this guy comes with, easily tops everything in my collection. And can't wait to see what Gigan does next. Either that's in the Monsterverse or in something Toho does in the future. And I'm very excited to see that. If you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like it, subscribe. I have an Instagram and a Twitter. Links in the description. And I'll give this guy a solid 11 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.